So, to begin with, what did Barry Casson really feel that he was cut out for? What did you feel that you wanted to do as you sort of started to get into adulthood and out of school?
Well, I thought at that time I was going to get into being a stockbroker because I took all the courses and that, and I thought, well, this is good living and everything. But it wasn't in my heart. I thought, well, I'm a drummer. I play drums. I'm not a stockbroker.
So you didn't get into the business at all then?
No, I was a teletype operator for many years, and they said, now you're going into sales, and I just went along with it,
So there's a huge leap, though, Barry, from being a kid who decides that he just all of a sudden wants to, just be a rock and roll musician? Or?
Pretty well. It happened in school. My teacher one time said, in school, he said, well, we'd like you to, we took an aptitude test, that was it. And he said, you should be a drummer. And I went, wow, that's so cool. And then I followed it.
There's job security right there.
A lot of job security, yeah. Be a musician, yeah, right. Anyway, I took that and loved it, worked very hard, got a bit of a reputation, I guess. And I just decided, no, we got a hot band in town, very hot band called Bobby Falls and the Strangers.
Oh, there's a lot of Victorians who remember that name.
Yes, and Dave Foster on keyboard and everything. And I thought, we are good. So I took off for England, hung around London for 6 weeks to see how we would fare. Came back, and this is a beautiful part, I convinced 6 other guys that we're all going to quit our jobs and we're all going to move to England. And 3 of the guys were married. We did that. We all moved to England. We quit our jobs and we all moved to England. We gave ourselves like 4 months or so, and then we'd bring the wives over or whatever,
Okay.
And it started to happen. We did up and down the M1. We did all the big ballrooms from one end to the other.
So who was in the crew at the time then? Who were you with?
There was myself, Bobby Falls singing, Dave Foster on keyboard,
Man.
Rich England on sax, Wes Chambers on sax, Bill Stewart on trumpet, Mike Steinmetz on bass, and myself on drums. It was a 7-piece R&B, a real good R&B band. We played the Cavern in Liverpool. We did all the big Locarno and Mecca ballrooms.
Whoa. The Cavern. What year?
We're 67, 68.
Okay, so the
68.
Beatles had moved on by then.
Yes, yeah, but we were thrilled to get on that same stage
Yeah.
as they played. And that was the original Cavern, not the one. I got moved later on to a different location.
Okay.
This was the place, yeah.
So you didn't meet the Beatles, but along the way, did you?
Kind of.
Oh, really? There's a story.
Well, okay, very quickly, I'll tell you. When we were playing, our agent hooked us up with Chuck Berry. But we had a big riot at the Savile Theatre in London where they tried to storm the stage. The cops came out, 50 cops. They ripped the theatre from stem to stern. They pulled down the curtains, started a fire. It was just pandemonium. We packed up, the theater's a wreck, and David and I are on stage. I'm on the right, he's on the left. I'm packing up my drums, he's packing up his Farfisa keyboard. I looked up, and this is a true story, on the left box, there's a guy sitting there hanging over the box, watching us. And I looked up, he waved, I waved, I thought, wait a minute, I know that guy. So I walked over to Dave, and I said, hey, Dave, take a look at this. Is that who I think it is? Dave looks up, the guy waves. It was Paul McCartney.
Get out.
I kid you not. Everyone had left the theater. It was Paul McCartney just watching us pack up. Yeah. Isn't that cool?
That is so cool.
And right after that, the end of Chuck's trip, get this. We flew from London to Paris to do a live radio show all over Europe with Chuck Berry. On the plane from London to Paris was the entire Duke Ellington band.
Oh, my.
Yeah, and those were the days. Those were great days, man.
How old were you at the time?
11. I was probably 24, I guess, 23, 24, something.
So there's 24-year-olds who are probably listening right now who would think, maybe that's something I would like to do in my life, and possibly, would you recommend that at this point?
Don't give up your day job, as they say.
It took a lot of guts for you to pull out and do something like that, but look at the reward that you got when you said, we did it.
We did it, and every guy in that band would say, and we have coffee with some of those guys, even today we get together for coffee. None of us regret that. It was an experience of a lifetime. It was great. It was a wonderful, wonderful time. And then we came back and we all wound up at the Strathcona.
Oh, I remember those nights.
The Old Forge.
The Old Forge.
And we played there. I was there for 4 years, 6 nights a week. What a gig.
All right, so now you're back in Victoria.
Yeah.
You've got this great memory. Where did you wind up at that point?
Well, from there I went on to have a newspaper career. I got involved in photography.
So obviously a lot of people recognize your name as a filmmaker then. Did that
Yes.
move on after that?
Yes, from there I came back. I studied film in Hollywood, came back After that, I left the newspaper again, went down, came back, worked for Czech television for 9 years as a news photographer, and started teaching a course at Camosun on filmmaking. I left Czech TV, and we opened up Vancouver Island's first film school. It was under my name, Casson Film School. We changed it later to the Victoria Motion Picture School, trained hundreds of students through that. It was
I remember.
Yeah.
Well, let's move up to these days.
Yep.
What's up with Barry Casson these days?
Well, currently I teach drums at a local music store.
So the drumming is still there.
Still there. I have a site called drumboy.ca, but I'm getting into public speaking now. I want to share.
Oh, that's excellent. You should.
Yeah.
The story that you have to tell is amazing.
And many more. You know, when I was in the film thing, I did that Lost in the Woods film that went all over Canada and the United States. Yeah, a lot of awards for films and done all that. But now I would like to get into sharing this with some of the people that are coming up and saying, look, let me show you how to become who you were meant to be by getting individuals to follow their gifts, their talents, and not just get a job. Get into what you're gifted for.
So obviously there's lessons to be learned from the experience that you have had at your own personal level, and obviously you have a way of passing this along.
Yes, I think so. And from what I've learned and what I've been doing my whole life, it comes down, it sounds like a motivational speaking thing, but it comes down to three things. You have to believe in yourself. You literally have to see yourself in that position to create it.
Yeah.
But if you don't, as the old slate, scene 36, take 4, clap, action. If you don't take the action, if you don't move to action, nothing else matters. So I think a lot of people want to do it, they sit back, they don't do it, and it doesn't happen because they didn't take action. It's that simple.